Whoa, 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 whoa. Calm down. Before you go into the comments and you bash me out because I'm saying that I'm going to return the Samsung S24 Ultra, watch the video until the end to understand why I'm doing it, and you might be surprised. For me, the Samsung S24 Ultra is the best smartphone on the planet. But I'm returning it. Here are my reasons. So, I bought the Samsung S24 Ultra in the beginning of February, or at the end of January, I don't remember. But I bought this phone with a specific reason in mind, and that was to review it, to compare it to my iPhone 15 Pro Max, and to use it during 1 month. Of course, I do this every time a new Android flagship comes out. I did it with the Google Pixel 8 Pro, did it with the Samsung S22 Ultra, have did it again with the Samsung S24 Ultra. The reason is, I want to compare it to my iPhone 15 Pro Max. I want to test it out, see what are the good things about the Android side, what are the bad things, what are the good things about the iPhone, what are the bad things about the iPhone. Yes, I'm an iPhone user. I love the iPhone. I love Apple, and my channel is mostly concentrated on Apple stuff. But that doesn't mean, like time to time, I like to peek out of the garden. I like to see things from another perspective. That's why I bought the Samsung S24 Ultra, to review it, to use it, and to see, is it better than my iPhone 15 Pro Max? Does it make my life easier? Does it make my life more efficient? And, of course, does it make me work harder, or does it make me work harder for the phone? Two different things. Well, those questions were answered during this month, and I made a full review about this phone. I'm not going into deep details about my experience with the Samsung S24 Ultra in this video. No, I'm going to give you the good things, the bad things, and mostly to say goodbye to the Samsung S24 Ultra. I've loved this phone. 1 month was almost not enough, but I cannot justify this, another $1,500 on a phone, just to keep it as my secondary phone. I cannot. It did not manage to dethrone my iPhone on my phone choice, so it's going back. Well, if you're excited for this video, drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel. I know this is going to be a tough one. Hang on with me. Let's get started. So, right away, the Samsung S24 Ultra for me is the best overall hardware smartphone on the planet. It has the best overall hardware, not the best experience, in my opinion. And that's why I'm not replacing my iPhone 15 Pro Max with the Samsung S24 Ultra. I don't think this phone is a better experience than the iPhone. Not because of the hardware, definitely not because of the hardware, but because of the software experience, because of iOS versus Android, and especially because I'm so invested on the Apple ecosystem. This is not Samsung's fault, and this is not something that Samsung can change. No, I'm just too invested on Apple ecosystem, and I love Apple products so much that I cannot justify another big investment on other ecosystems for just simply keeping a Samsung S24 Ultra. Doesn't make any sense for me. And that's why I'm returning. That's the main reason that I'm returning this phone, the ecosystem. I have an Apple Watch, the Apple Watch Ultra right here. This is an amazing, amazing smartwatch. I have the Mac. I love the Mac. That's my favorite computer. I have the iPad for note-taking. So the things that this phone actually does really well, which is the Note Pen and the note-taking stuff, this amazing thing that I loved so much, I have on my iPad. And then there's the ecosystem, which a lot of people say the Samsung ecosystem is the most complete. It had fridges, computers, washing machines, smartwatches, tablets, everything. It goes everywhere. But it's not the best. Even though you have a lot of quantity, you don't have the quality. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's trash. No, I'm not saying that I cannot use it. I'm just saying that I feel that Apple's ecosystem is better integrated. It's just more efficient, more fluid, and that's why I'm keeping it. I love it. I'm invested on it, and so I won't waste my money, my time, just simply to keep my Samsung S24 Ultra. I've loved this phone. And do not get me wrong, if you have a Samsung S24 Ultra, it's an amazing, amazing choice. Use it, love it, enjoy it. It's the best hardware smartphone on the planet. But if you have an iPhone, don't feel sad. That's also an amazing, amazing choice. I'm not here to criticize your options. Again, if you are watching this video and you are thinking, I'm saying your choice, your purchase was bad, I'm not. I'm just telling you my experience with the Samsung. It was great. It was amazing. But it's time for me to return it because I don't have any more use for this phone. I'm not keeping it. I'm not switching my iPhone for the Samsung, so there's no reason for me to keep it. I will simply give it back and it will go to another's home. But here's the thing. There were good stuff on my experience and there were the bad stuff. So let's talk about it. I'm going to start for the good stuff because let's start on a positive note. First, the S Pen. This is so cool. The S Pen is something that most people don't actually realize they would love to have on their phone. This is a gimmick, and I know this is a gimmick. Most people don't really care about you have a Samsung S Pen on it or not. And most people that buy the Samsung S24 Ultra won't probably know that it's there. It's in a hidden place. Probably if they are not tech nerds, they won't use it. But if you do use it, if you do value these things, oh my god, it's so useful. This is those stuff that 99.9% of the time you don't actually know that it's there, but the other 1% you are so glad that it's there. It's so cool to use, so useful when you need it, and yeah, it takes some space on the phone, but here's the argument for not having the S Pen. Well, it could have more battery, right? But at what cost? The Samsung S24 Ultra, and this enters on my second point, is the best battery life, at least on par with the iPhone 15 Pro Max, that I've ever used on a phone. It's ridiculous. On my day in the life with the Samsung S24 Ultra, I've used this phone for the whole day, and I used only like 30% of battery. Insane performance. This is a 2-day phone easily. And now with the newer upgrade that came out to this phone, people are saying that it's even better. In my experience, somewhat, like I've not used this phone extensively in the last week, the last 3-4 days, and I cannot tell if it's much better or not, but for what I've seen, it's a bit better. So this insane battery, it's not affected by having the S Pen on it, which is such a cool thing to have. It's an incredible one. It's a Bluetooth remote, so you can take pictures on a family trip. You want to take pictures and you don't have anyone to take them. This is a remote control for your phone. There's a lot of things you can use the S Pen for, not just note-taking, and I like it. Would I have it on my iPhone if I need to make the choice? No, it's a gimmick. I wouldn't. But if it had, I wouldn't be mad. It's a super cool feature that I just loved having on my Samsung S24 Ultra. Like I was telling you, the battery life here is insane. And that's the second point that I want to make. This battery is so good that for most people it's a 2-day phone. That's simply something that you cannot replicate in every phone. It's amazing. It's so cool not to have that worry on your head that your phone is about to die. No, just have that confidence that you can do whatever you want to, hotspot, watch 4K videos on data, anything you want to do, this phone can handle it. 4K video, insane, like you can record a lot of time with it. This phone will have any issues. In terms of thermally throttling, nothing. The phone is always cool to the touch, and that's something I actually enjoyed a lot on the Samsung S24 Ultra. The next thing is on the software side. And you might be surprised by it because I just said that Android is not that good. But one thing that Android does really, really well right now, and actually better than iOS, I can admit that, is AI. AI and the AI features here on the Samsung are really, really good. The AI features on the Google, amazing, but only on the camera side. On the Magic Eraser or the Magic Editor you have on the camera, you can also find those things here on the Samsung. They work well, like with their limitations, but at the end of the day, they do work, and they are cool gimmicks. But one thing that is not a gimmick, and I've loved it so much, is the circle to search feature. You can take a photo, circle it, and search it on Google. So fast. Restaurants, shoes, cars, anything you want to do it on your phone, you can do it. Even my channel logo, if you circle it on the Samsung, you can simply search my channel on YouTube or Google. Insane. This is the future of Google search. This is the future of our lives. So this is another way to input on a search engine that is so popular like Google, can give you instant information at simply one circle. Insane feature by Samsung, and I admit that I want to see this on the iPhone, and I do believe we are going to see this in the near future on every single phone. Samsung, great job on the AI side. Another thing that I actually loved here on the Samsung S24 Ultra, and that's the fourth thing, is the construction. I'm glad that Samsung took the time and they used premium materials just like Apple's. Titanium, glass. The construction feels very good and premium. The way you hold the phone, it just feels $1,500 worth. Everything is really well built, zero tolerances, everything is incredible, premium. That's how a $1,500 phone should look like. The display, the hardware, every single piece is just beautiful. Beautiful, amazing Samsung, amazing job on the hardware side. Even the camera bump, that's something that you are used to nowadays. The Samsung S24 Ultra does not have it. Just has these rings, these elevated rings. That's it. No camera bump, which just makes it not to rock on the table that much. It does rock because the camera rings are huge, but it does not rock that much. Those were all the cool things and the good things that I actually found and I actually loved on the Android side. Let's now get into the more spicy stuff. First, the buttons. These were the thing that annoyed me the most and probably the pettiest thing on this video. Most of you will go into the comments now and say, Oh my God, I do not notice it. Oh my God, that does not happen to me. Oh my God, you are annoying by that. And they will criticize me because of this. But this is my opinion. You should not, repeat, you should not put your volume buttons and your lock button on the same side. You simply should not do it. This is bad design. Let me explain you why. Because if you put it on your pocket, you cannot see it, you simply have to touch it. Sometimes I do it like on top of my trousers and I put my hand on my pocket, like on top of the tissue. I simply start clicking it and looking for the buttons. I know on the iPhone that if I look for the left or the right side, I can feel where are the volume buttons and click them. Simple, easy, no mistakes. While on the Samsung phone, well, most of the time that I'm doing this, I'm wrong. Because again, there are 2 volume buttons and 1 lock button. 2 out of the 3. That's the odds that I have when I'm trying to lower the volume, unlock the phone, like mute a call, whatever. There is always 2 out of 3 chances that I will do the action wrong. This is annoying. Samsung, you should have divided the volume buttons from one side to the other. Put them right here. The phone is too tall to put it on the top. If you put it on the middle, easy to grab, like there. You see it? Very, very easy. Right there, again, I can reach the lock button. I cannot reach the volume buttons. I have to use both hands. And here, you have the lock button. And then to reach the volume buttons, the upwards button is just a stretch. No way I can use it. The lower button is kind of annoying. And sometimes I just click the lock button by accident. So this is bad design in my opinion. I know this has been on the Samsung for a while. It's on the Google Pixel 8 Pro. I've critiqued the Google Pixel 8 Pro on that. I'm critiquing the Samsung on this. No good Samsung. This is a terrible choice by you. Another thing that annoys me very much on the Android side is the amount of accounts you gotta have. You cannot simply just have one account. No, the whole system is fighting itself for the control. You have the Google control and the Google accounts. You have the Samsung accounts. And during your experience on the software side, these two are just fighting for your attention. You have the Samsung Store, you have the Google Play Store. You have the Samsung Contacts, you have the Google Contacts. You have the Samsung Email, you have the Gmail. Oh my God, I'm sick of it. You have Google, the browser, Google Chrome, and you have the Samsung Internet Explorer. This is so annoying. They're always fighting for my attention, fighting for my accounts, my information. I don't need it. Like Samsung, if you want to have your control over the software, again, create your own software. If not, give the control to Google, Play Store, Gmail, Google Maps. All of those are probably most people's choice. So do not create these intermediate men that just annoys me. It's just something that does not need to be there, creates another step, and it's just cumbersome. Please, Samsung, fix this, and please, again, do not try to be something that you are not. If you are a hardware company that produces amazing displays, amazing bodies for your phones, amazing hardware for your phones, then accept that Google creates amazing software. Amazing software. Android is a miracle. Accept it. Use their services. Do not try to create another set of services that are not as good as Google's, but you are trying always to force feed us with it. No. If you want to do that, give the user the choice when you are setting up your phone. Do you want to use Google's set of apps and accounts, or do you want to use Samsung's? Then you choose. That's it. No more mention of Samsung accounts ever. That's how it should be, at least in my opinion. One thing that actually disappointed me, this is not a bad point, but disappointed me a lot was the video quality here. I really thought that it would be better, at least on par or almost on par with the iPhone, but no, I was so wrong. My skin colors, they are not great here. And I made a vlog, my day in the life with the Samsung S24 Ultra. Some parts were shot on the Samsung, some parts were shot on the iPhone. And you can definitely notice the difference. While I was editing, I was like, that's the Samsung, that's the iPhone, really easily. Because, not because I knew the name of the file, but because, obviously, but because the color science is so much different. The Samsung gives it a lot of sharpening, gives it a lot of contrast, makes it very poppy, but it does not look good. The midtones, I don't know why, the colors they choose for it, the color science, simply does not look good, does not look real. While the iPhone, if you decide to shoot on normal mode, no log, it will look a bit extra saturated and a bit too much sharpened. But, and this is the big but, on the iPhone, if you decide to shoot log, which is an incredible feature, it's a miracle, it's an incredible video footage. It's almost like mirrorless cameras. Insane. The improvements over the Samsung in terms of the iPhone are so big if you decide to shoot on lock. Takes a lot of space, yes, but that simple action of not sharpening your video, not giving it that extra point that every brand likes to give, is so much better. So the video side on the Samsung, a part of the camera experience, which was great, kind of disappointed me. And finally, something that I did not talk about in my review, because I did not know if it was my phone's problem, because of, I don't know, the defective unit, or a software issue. I did not talk about it, but I will mention it now because it still keeps it up. While I was using this phone for about 2 weeks, I've noticed that the cellular reception that I got on this phone was worse than my iPhone. In my home, the public spaces that I'm in all the time, I've noticed that the cellular reception on the Samsung was not as good. Like when I get 5 bars on the iPhone, I would get 4 bars on the Samsung. When I get 4 bars on the iPhone, I will get 3 bars on the Samsung, which is kind of annoying because I actually rely a lot on data for internet. And, well, I don't know what's the issue, if this the chip from Snapdragon or the modem that you decide to use, or I have a defective unit. I don't know. Let me know in the question below if you have that experience. But on those 2 weeks, it was on the middle of February. I don't know if they released any new update with those bug fixes. I don't know if that last week's update fixed that, it was a bug or not. My experience was not great. And I needed to point this out on the last video that I was making on this phone. But again, I don't think it's a big deal. I think it was my own experience and probably not your experience with the Samsung. But be careful and try to see if it's a widespread issue. If not, again, it was just my experience. So let me know in the comments below which is your position on the Samsung S24 Ultra. Do you think it's a good phone? Do you think it's a bad phone? Do you love Android? Do you use iOS? Let me know in the comments down below. For me, I'm sad that I'm returning it, but I have accepted it. I'm not using this phone as my main phone. Does not make any financial sense to keep it, so I'm going to return it. No issue there. I've reviewed it, and now from now on, at least until the next big Android flagship, Pixel 9, I have moral authority to talk about the iPhone. Because I know, and I've used the Samsung for extended periods of time, I know its inner abouts, so I know the flaws, I know the advantages, so I cannot talk freely about my iPhone with the experience of the other side. That's something you need to do. Do not say, yes, this is the best part. Yes, this is the best side. This is my favorite thing ever, without trying the other stuff. You need to try everything before you decide which one is the better one. So, yeah, I've tried the Samsung, tried the Google Pixel 8 Pro, and I've settled in on the iPhone. So, let me know in the comments below which is your current phone. Thank you guys for watching. It's been Tech Consumer talking to you here. Bye-bye.